Well, several years have passed since the events of Max Payne 2, and you know, we basically pick up Max, and he's working security for a rich businessman in Brazil. He's been sort of recruited by an old acquaintance to come and do this job. He was just sort of wasting his life away, sort of trying to hide in New York since the events of the last couple games, and so he's drinking a lot and just trying to forget the past, I think. I think Max Payne is he's a fairly regular guy with an extraordinary set of skills and a certain set of values, and he had a life that was taken away from him, and I think he doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. But he's not really a crusader or anything. I think he's just a guy that wants to be left alone and ends up in a couple situations where he's not left alone and he has to respond. I think the goal was to stay true to the spirit of the Max Payne franchise while still being able to make a game that felt very current and actually progressive. For us, more important than sort of keeping any one mechanic or feature or story element, it was recreating that feeling that people got when they first played Max. And you know, Max was a revolutionary shooter, and so we wanted to make sure that anything that we did had that same effect on players today when they play it. We sort of really realized that middle state, you know, you can have a character walking around and sort of shooting from the hip, and then you go into shoulder aiming mode, and the camera pulls in, and that's fairly standard stuff. But that running and gunning that was basically the only way to play Max is the core of it, and to make a running and gunning game where the guy looks connected to the world and physically believable became a big challenge for us, because everything that he does needed to hold up. I mean, I think we knew it was going to be difficult no matter what. I mean, we don't sort of approach anything thinking it's going to be easy. We approach things thinking, how can we make this unlike anything anyone's seen before? How can we make something that people are going to love? And so that had to be our focus. But when we started really looking at it and knowing we were going to have to incorporate bullet time, where you could slow it down and you could basically scrutinize every move that he makes, you know, really see everything that he's doing, we realized sort of how tricky it was going to be to make sure that his feet weren't sliding, that they were planting, that it looked like his weight was transitioning properly. So just devising that system and working out the kinks was probably the trickiest part early on. Basically with shoot dodging, which is sort of an extension of bullet time, it's a slow motion you know, dodge that he can do in any direction. We said, well, what if you shoot dodge to the right and you leave him there? You can basically shoot from a prone position anywhere around you. So that's a new addition. But the thing that I'm most excited about is just the gunplay itself. It's still a third-person shooter where the emphasis is on the running and gunning, but everything's, you know what I mean? And it sounds, it sounds a bit corny, I guess, but it's true. I mean, we really sort of went into everything and said, what made this special? How do you make it? How do you advance it? And how do you make it feel extremely progressive, but still retain the feel of the original?